Hello and welcome to Galata Plus. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Nelson's Beast, which stars Vijay as a raw field officer named Veera Raghavan. I kept waiting for a joke about the Veera Raghavan instinct, but nothing came to mind, so I just said, let's leave it. Now, the first few minutes of this film really show much promise. The Vijay's introduction scene is very pleasantly low-key. There is a very nice action stretch, a very pretty intensely choreographed action stretch. And we get a death that is as unexpected as that of the little boys in Master. Now, there, the cause of the death was Vijay's alcoholism. That is the hero's alcoholism. Here, the cause of the death is a betrayal, and it changes Vijay's character forever. At least I thought it did, because after this incident, he starts going to a therapist, the character. I mean, a therapist. And I was genuinely surprised. I was wondering, are we really going to see a Vijay movie in which his psyche or soul is as scarred as that of Daniel Craig's in his Bond movies? But 5 minutes later, I was slapping myself on my forehead for expecting all this, because the therapist starts making tasteless jokes. Then we land up at a supposed North Indian wedding where Pooja Hegde makes a sort of pass at Vijay, and then they both launch into Arabic Kuttu, and then the mood established by the opening stretch is totally gone. Now, I knew that Beast would not be 100% a genre movie, right? Because in our mainstream cinema, especially one featuring our biggest star, Hero, you cannot make a 100% genre drama. Here, the overall genre is action-adventure and the subgenre is the hostage drama. So I did not expect complete nail-biting thrills throughout the movie, because I knew they would dilute the genre with a lot of comedy and with a lot of slow-mo hero worship. But what I did not expect was that the rest of the film, that is the part after the opening stretch, would turn out to be so flat and so generic. I did not expect that the rest of the cast, which includes Yogi Babu, Redin, Pooja Hegde and poor Shine Tom Chacko, would be so underutilized. I did not expect a total lack of interest in exploring Vijay's trauma from his raw days, given how much of a dramatic kick that could have given the rest of the film between the action scenes. And I did not expect the other action sequences to be so underwhelming. At the beginning, in that opening stretch, that action scene, there's a super cool kick-ass moment where Vijay actually walks on the wall while he's killing his opponent. But more than anything, I did not expect a Nelson movie to have so little flavor. Now, agreed that he's made only 2 films, that is Kolama Kokila and Doctor, but those films have such a distinct vision. They have such a uniqueness about them, and there's such a wonderfully dark humor in them. And here, the humor consists of something like seeing Yogi Babu from on the underside and noticing that he does not wear any underwear. A bulk of the humor is given to the character played by VTV Ganesh, and he begins to grate on our nerves very early on, and he continues to do this till the very end of the film. In fact, the biggest laugh that I got was something from outside the film. There's a scene early on in that opening stretch again. This is probably the 5th or 6th time I'm referring to that opening stretch, because that's really the only good part of the movie. Anyway, Vijay is referring to a terrorist. I mean, he's talking to a terrorist in Hindi, and after a time, he stops talking in Hindi. He says, "Chuma chuma translate pannittu irukka mudiyadhu, nee Tamil kattuko." Something like that. I mean, not those exact lines. And I laugh because you know how strange it is that movies can sometimes mirror our current day society, even though the current controversy about Hindi and Tamil and other languages started long after Beast started shooting. Anyway, back to Beast. Why drag these genre films to 2 hours and 40 minutes? Why keep repeating these tired old characters like the corrupt politician or the sick child or the Muslim terrorists? But anyway, given that there are bad Muslims, it's a nice touch that we have a good Muslim in the Selvaraghavan character, and Selvaraghavan gives the only good performance in the film as a man, as a government official who's resigned to taking orders from people who are far less smarter than he is. After a while, the flab in the film really begins to show, and we see Anirudh desperately trying to lift the scenes with the score, but there is only so much a music director can do. Beast is proof that a really talented director needs a really good script to take on a really big star. I mean, one movie that does not work is not a big problem, right? All directors have had their bad moments, movies that don't work. But what is really frustrating in Beast is the apparent lack of effort. Many scenes play as if the script isn't even trying, that it's depending only on Vijay to save the day, and he does, but to a very small extent, because the scenes, the script, the writing expects nothing really new from the actor. I was prepared for a 50% Nelson, 50% Vijay experience, but Beast never really reaches those percentages. So that's it about Beast. If you like this video, do subscribe to Galata Plus, and see you soon at the movies.